Most first-time Japan itineraries suck. Not because Japan sucks, but because most people try to jam Tokyo, Osaka, Nara, Hiroshima, climbing Mount Fuji, a ski resort trip, a soapland visit, and a 50-kilometer shrine pilgrimage into a single week. Let's take a step back. I know you want to make the most out of your trip to Japan, and I don't blame you. It might be the only one you'll do for a very long time. Now I live here, and I'm going to show you how to build a Japan itinerary that doesn't make you go, what did I actually do? All I remember is train rides and crowds and strong zero 2 months after you get back. Most bad itineraries start from the wrong question. What cities should I hit? The real starting point for a good trip should be, what kind of Japan trip am I having? Japan isn't just a single experience. It's like 5 experiences duct taped together by the skillful hands of MacGyver. Remember that show? I might be old. You can have a food-focused trip, a city culture trip, a nature trip, a Weeb anime pilgrimage for some, naked figurines, wink wink, or maybe a relaxation trip, or some combination of 2 of those. But you can't have all of them packed into one trip unless you want to spend your vacation inside a Shinkansen eating ekiben, the train bentos. It gets old in a day or 2. So before you even look at a map or one of those 50 things to do in Japan videos thinking you can do it all, you need to decide your trip theme or trip identity. Now a few examples of trip identity could maybe be food focused when you want to eat your way through Japan one big ramen at a time. It could be culture nerd like shrines, museums, old towns and architecture. It could be the outdoors lover like the Norwegian legend Lars Monsen, hiking, mountains, lakes and cycling. It could be the city pop Weeb, where you can't get enough of the anime spots, themed cafes and arcades. Or you can be the zen chill out monk, onsens, ryokans, slow mornings and no crowds or other tourists. What more can you ask for? Or maybe the most popular of all, the city enjoyer, nightclubs, fun neighborhoods and loud techno music. Just stay away from drugs at the raves. I know it's tempting, but Japanese jail is not a fun trip theme or a trip identity. It's absolutely gonna suck. Once you've figured out your trip identity, the next question is, how much can you actually do without literally speedrunning Japan? Most people will absolutely die on the hill of, I'm only in Japan once, I have to see everything. And then they spend half their trip staring out the train window like a depressed salaryman coming home from the longest shift ever. The reality is this though, Japan is bigger and slower than you think. With a normal 10-day trip, the golden rule is 2 cities max plus 1 wildcard day. That means you need to pick home base A and home base B. So let's say home base A is Tokyo, home base B is Osaka or Kyoto if you're feeling fancy. And then you have a wild card, which is like your trip identity bonus round. Now you may ask, why 2 bases? That's simply because switching hotels, arranging luggage transport, navigating trains, checking in and figuring out breakfast burns like half a day at minimum every single time you do it. So if you do that 4 times when you're here on a week holiday, you effectively cut your enjoyment time in half. And that's not good. So now that you're not treating your JR Pass like each major city in Japan has a Pokemon gym badge for you, and no, Misty is not in Tochigi, despite, the area being the inspiration for Cerulean City. I checked, she's not there. Let's answer the real question. Where the hell do I actually go? This depends on your trip identity or the trip theme that you choose, because not everyone needs to experience the same places or same things or even the same Japan. You don't even need to use the examples that I mentioned. Those are my examples. You can easily make your own as long as you understand what's important to you and your family if they're coming along too. But since this is my video, I'll be using my examples. What are you gonna do about it? Absolutely nothing. You can't do that. You can't jump out through my camera and force me to use your examples. I will use mine. So if your whole trip is going to be eat until I physically can't anymore, like I do every day, the classic combo is Tokyo plus Osaka. Tokyo is for all the fancy Michelin stuff, the weird desserts and sushi temples. Osaka is just straight up comfort food, takoyaki, okonomiyaki, kushikatsu, and a vibe that just utterly defeats Tokyo. They don't call it the kitchen of Japan for nothing. Some wildcard examples here for your feasting trip would probably be Fukuoka for boozy Hakata tonkotsu ramen at 3 AM, or Hokkaido for seafood that could convert the Liver King into becoming a pescatarian. It's that good. For the culture nerd, it would probably be like Kyoto plus Nara, maybe front-loaded with a small stay in Tokyo as a warm-up. Kyoto has all the shrines, temples, tea houses, old streets, and Instagram Japan aesthetic, only IRL. Nara is calmer, more historical, and they have deer that will try to distract you from all the beauty around you by biting your ass. Some wildcard examples here could be Kanazawa for the art and gardens, or Kurashiki, which is in my neighborhood. You know, it's beautiful, it's the Venice of Japan, and you get the Kyoto vibes without the Kyoto crowds, which is a huge plus, because Kyoto gets crowded. For the nature enjoyer, your base is Tokyo, but you leave the city almost immediately. Mountains, lakes, onsens, hiking, you know, that's Hakone, Fuji 5 Lakes, Kiso Valley, and Nagano. Some wildcard examples here could be like Hokkaido, which is a cheap domestic flight away with like Peach Airlines, you know, where you can get actual wilderness, or Yakushima for Studio Ghibli forest vibes and, you know, some wild monkeys that will probably try to bite you just like the deer in Nara. For the weebs in class, just stay in Tokyo and embrace it. You have Akihabara, Ikebukuro, Nakano Broadway, maid cafes, themed cafes, all of it, even the Muscle Mommy Cafe. Just stay away from the Nigerian touts in Kabukicho unless you enjoy getting drugged in a shady bar and waking up 2 days later with no money for anime merch. It is what it is. Some wildcard examples here could be going to Nagoya to see Ghibli Park, Osaka for Nipponbashi, which is basically Kansai's Akihabara, or Kobe for the anime cafe culture. If you want shrines from your favorite anime movie, there are like 500 of them, you know, just pick one. For the Zen chill mode, if your ideal day is like tea, onsens, and not talking to a single human being for the entirety of the day, bliss, Kyoto and Ryokan town is like the best choice here. Some Ryokan town examples are Hakone, Kinosaki, and Kurokawa. The loop is simple on chill mode. Just sit in hot water, put on a yukata, eat a kaiseki dinner, and pass out on a futon at 9 PM in a tatami room. Some wildcard examples here would be Shikoku and Issei if you want the spiritual Japan without the unspiritual annoying tourists. For the city enjoyer, the best combo here is Osaka plus Tokyo, hands down. Tokyo has bars, clubs, and neighborhoods that feel like video game maps and weird themed izakayas. Osaka is smaller but rowdier, way more energy, and more chances you'll be adopted by a local table if you go out to an izakaya alone. That happened to me when I was new in Osaka. I went out for a beer and some food at an izakaya. Table next to me, 20 minutes in, like, hey, come on over. So, you know, it never happened to me in Tokyo. That's why people say Tokyo is cold and Osaka is warm. They're more friendly here. Yeah, you know, just come to Osaka. Some wildcard examples here for the city enjoyer would be Fukuoka, again for beach town energy, food and nightlife, and Sapporo for cold beer, festivals, and, cold weather. It's less humid up there. That's why I like it there. It's kind of similar to my Norwegian, where I grew up in Norway. It's kind of similar. No humidity, a little bit of a crisp cold. Bliss. Oh, and the seafood too. So there you go, trip identity into actual places. How about that? Without pretending everybody needs to do the same bucket list every time they go to Japan. Now let's make sure that you don't wake up in a cold sweat on your first day in Japan, clutching a list of 50 things to do in Japan without knowing what order to do them in. Matching your trip identity to places is great, but you still need to structure your actual day so you don't burn all your energy on day 3 and spend the rest of your trip sitting on a curb eating like fammy chicken wondering where it all went wrong. Now here's the thing that most people don't realize. Japan has energy costs. Not money, but mental battery. You can get tired here from all the crowds and moving around pretty quickly. And how you order your days actually matter. So the basic formula is heavy into medium into light. That means you start your trip with something big or immersive, a heavy day. Then the next one is like a mix, a medium one. Then you throw in an easy day before you try to, be a hero again. You will get tired in Japan, just like you get tired at home. You don't automatically get like the best cardio and energy in the world. You don't have unlimited energy. You actually need to use energy as a type of currency to have a good time in Japan. Stacking 3 heavy days in a row will physically and spiritually kill you. Ask anyone who went to like all the Kyoto shrines like Kiyomizu-dera, then to Arashiyama Bamboo Forest, then Arashiyama Monkey Park, and then to Fushimi Inari just back to back in one day. They come back with like 3,000 photos and just a dead stare because their soul has been crushed. So what counts as heavy, medium, and light, you may ask? Well, I told you about the whole thing, so I might as well explain it to you. Heavy is lots of walking, lots of lines, lots of people, or lots of temples. Some examples would be like the Tokyo Triangle, Shibuya, Harajuku, and Shinjuku. Or having a Kyoto Temple Mega Day, Dotonbori in Osaka, Umeda, and then Shinsekai. Like literally the phrase, you're doing too much, man, is it needs to be like echoing inside of your head if you're trying to do a lot of things in one day. Yes, a whole day in Nara Park is still heavy. You can spend like 7 hours there walking around the entire thing, and it's physically tolling. So, it is a heavy thing. Medium would be like one major thing and one minor thing. An example would be Team Lab Borderless and a stroll through Odaiba, Kiyomizu Temple and Nishiki Market in Kyoto. Right? You catch my drift? A light day would be low effort vibes, low walking, and kind of like restorative to regain energy. A regain energy day. Some examples of this would be maybe an onsen day, just a chill shopping day, cafe day, or a kombini picnic, you know, ooh, strong zeros and some onigiri, and we just chill, right? Or maybe you hit the soap land. I'm not gonna tell anybody. Shh. But the essence is this: if you plan heavy, you will hate Japan by day 4. If you plan heavy, medium, light, you'll love Japan and still have, you know, painless knees. So knowing this, you just schedule accordingly and you'll be a-okay. Most tourists massively underestimate transit time in Japan. I know Japan is efficient, I'll give them that, but that doesn't mean you can go Tokyo Skytree at 10, Ghibli Museum at 11, Team Lab at 1 and Akiba by 3. That is literally speedrunning IRL, and that's no way to have a holiday in Japan. Transit eats between 20 to 60 minutes every time you change zones, you know, so add waiting, lines, and the, oh, where the hell am I moment, and, you know, suddenly it's dinner time, and that's your whole day. Your daily schedule should answer 3 things, like what's the anchor, the main thing that you definitely care about and do not want to skip, what's optional, the things that you'll only do if you have the energy for it, and where's the food. It's extremely important to plan your meals ahead. I'm a big meal planner, you know, I'm very regiment with my meals, you know, you can see that on my entire body, but it's really important while traveling to know that, okay, we have dinner at that place at that time. You can't just be, oh, we'll just decide when we're, you know, oh, when we're hungry, because, you know, that's how you end up at McDonald's in Japan, and you could have done that at home, so that's kind of a waste. So plan accordingly, plan your meals, don't go to McDonald's, unless you want to try out the Samurai Mac. It's good, but it's not like the Quarter Pounder. It took over for... The Quarter Pounder was removed from the menus here for the Samurai Mac. And it's like, at best, mid. It's not really worth it. When you're building your day plan, don't ask, what do I want to do? Ask yourself, when does it make sense to do this? It saves you so much annoyance and pain trying to plan around everything. Just, when does it make sense to do this? Not when do I want to do it, when does it make sense to do this? And then you'll just avoid all the idiot crowds around. Alright, that's it. Go plan your trip like a functioning human being instead of hoarding TikTok and Instagram spots with no context. If you like this video and want to see more Japan content like this, do the usual YouTube stuff so my channel doesn't die in the algorithm, you know, subscribe and like and all that, and also check out the Patreon, please. And thank you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye!